Hey guys, beautiful souls, how are you today? I want to do this video today to share a few things. I've just come out into the beautiful sunshine and nature. I usually do them from my car where it's quiet, but I thought I'll try and bring it out here today. Beautiful sunny day in Victoria, which we don't always get. And I want to talk about a few things which I'm going to share about at the start here. For those that want to stick around so they know exactly what's in the video. But how are these energies, oh my god, crazy doozies? They're really kicking butt. Man, they are kicking butt, aren't they? Man, whoa. But so I'm going to talk about them, how they're affecting the masculine and feminine, how they're affecting within and without. Haven't done a lot of videos lately on the divine masculine and divine feminine energies. Also want to share how they are affecting the family templates, how they are really getting to the root and seed point of those karmic family situations. Sharing some of my own experience. I always love it when I always come from a place of sharing experience and that's how I've coached for years, because I always feel like when you can come from that place of your own experience, it just brings so much more to others. You can help others so much more. You have more of an awareness of a lot of things. You can share that awareness with others, and then they can pinpoint where they need to look, or they like have those aha moments. So stick around and I'm going to share some of those moments as well. And I'm really going to talk about how these energies coming in are affecting divine unions, and a little bit more about that. So, but to start off with the energies, okay, so at the moment there's a lot of karmic family situations that are breaking down. It's really breaking down from that seed point. And what I mean by that is, so anywhere where there's been manipulation, control, any sort of, I kind of really don't like to use that word narcissistic, although a lot of people do, but you know what I'm talking about. And what I'm finding is these energies that maybe we've not noticed that have been playing out since we were a child, the energies that maybe family members don't even have an awareness of what they're doing, overstepping boundaries. That's what I want to talk about as well. Boundaries, not to give it a plug, but it just came through then. Boundaries is one of my biggest modules in my course, because it's really hard to set boundaries sometimes. And then, it's actually not hard to set them. It's more difficult to really keep them in place, to impose those and really keep them in place. Because what happens is you find that you might set them, but then family members, partners, other relationships, people, friends, whatever, they don't care about your boundaries and they will overstep your boundaries, even when you're point blank staring them in the face a million times, telling them you're overstepping my boundaries right now, or this is not comfortable for me right now, as in, I'm not entering into this situation with you right now, or whatever it is. And if you're doing that from a place of not running away or denial, but you're trying to stand in your truth and you are actually sharing your truth with them and what you feel and what's happening and what's playing out, and they're still overstepping your boundaries, then that's not on. So I'm going to talk about that today as well, and how you can really stop that from experience. And I really want to just touch on what my spirit is really wanting to share before people sort of click off the video or whatever, is that there are a lot out there, a lot of us out there, that we love our families, right? And a lot might be saying, oh no, I don't have any issues like that with my family, or everything's chilled, everything's cool, but there is so many I'm hearing that do not even realize the awareness of these little seeds that have been planted and are growing and around family. And we tend to not have the awareness of them, or that depth of awareness of them, because we just want to either keep the peace or overlook it or run away somewhere else or whatever. So I'm going to share an experience that I've been having, and it's been really tricky for me. It's with my mother, and I love my mother, I love all my family deeply, but I had not an awareness of still some old programming that was playing out with her, that was in a way, because people, right, they don't have to show their manipulation or their control or any of that from it. We always think that it's going to be obvious, right? But it can come through from a really nice nature, like, oh, like thinking they're just, doing it from such a good heart and all of this, but really there can be some manipulation under there. And so for me, that's been happening to me a lot, and I've had to have a stronger awareness of standing up and speaking up and going, no, I'm going to put myself first. Hang on, what's happening here? And it really cut a lot deeper than I ever thought it did, because I was one of those people that went, no, my family are pretty cruisy and chilled, and they're not like that, and I never, I've had a really good upbringing and all that sort of stuff, but have the layers been cutting back. And what I realized is that a lot of the way I had been either not opening to receive, or thinking I could do it all on my own, or not opening to support or whatever, has all come from being shut down through situations that I did not realize that happened from when I was a child. So that's been playing out for me, and Spirit has brought us together in a situation where the tension was there, and it kept on showing, because it's so funny, I love the way Spirit shows you things. It doesn't matter what's playing out that you're doing, that will show you. It's always to show you and bring it up to the surface as a trigger to then show you what's happening. And for me, it was really me needing to learn that several things really, but one of them was just really how I was taken advantage of in a lot of ways. And so I then had to, once I had a deeper awareness of that, I then had to go, whoa, okay, so I didn't realize it was like that. And so I've made a lot of changes in my life over the last few weeks. And so these energies, look, it doesn't matter how long you've been on this spiritual path, how many years you've been or decades you've been doing this work, there will always be things that we think we've cleared or done, and that we're still unraveling through these energies because they're so powerful. So these are the type of karmic family situations they're bringing up, and it's not just from this lifetime, it's from previous lifetimes as well, that you could have from the same family members that have incarnated, because soul groups tend to incarnate in the same type of soul group. Or it could be, you've played out different other, not from these same family members, but you've played it out differently in past lives. So we have to remember that energy only has the imagery or the stories when we attach to it, and so it doesn't really matter. You can have the same wounding, but just a different story as somebody else, if that makes sense. So you just got to look deeper. A lot of people go, oh, no, that's not my situation. But it may not be your situation, but you might have a different story around it, but it's the same root cause, it's the same root wounding. So that's where we've got to look at. So usually this will also play out if you are connected with a divine partner. They might have a different story around it, but they'll have the same wounding to heal, and that's how that sort of plays out often too. Or they might have the same type of story around it as well from childhood. So these energies, these eclipses, and the eclipse season we're in the middle of now. Yesterday here in Australia it's Sunday, so yesterday, I think it's the 28th today, so yesterday was the middle halfway point of the eclipse doorway that's open, and everything that's playing out. We've got right through to the 21st of the 12th, as we know, but there is so much happening, and I'm finding the energies are really fast and fluid. So if something comes up and you get triggered, and you're starting to work through it, and if you slightly even go back into a denial or I'll handle that tomorrow or whatever, it's like bang, no, Spirit's shoving it in your face again very quickly so that you deal with it. And it might not even be that you're going into denial. It might be you're trying to find a way to deal with it or work through it and push through it. And so Spirit will keep having it over and over and over again. Because often something will come up and trigger us, and we will sit with it and let it go. And we'll think we've brought it back to a neutralized 0 point, which is what we're doing here. So the bigger picture, I want to say here, is not to be judging. The bigger picture is to bring it back to a neutralization 0 point. So just one moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Someone just came in through the gates, so I had to stop. So yeah, I was saying the bigger picture is to address it, to see it, address it, and neutralize it. I've been doing that over and over and over. I'm just giving you an example of my situation. Every time that came up, I addressed it in me, I addressed it in Mum, and then I brought it back to a neutralized point of where, okay, we're not responsible for how people respond or react. We're not responsible for whether they're going to push through on their part and learn and remove those limiting beliefs. We are only responsible for how we do our own work, how we do our own shadow work, how we cut through, how we remove it, how we heal from it, how we address it, how we neutralize it. We're only responsible for us. And it can be really frustrating when we're still around those people and the same thing's kind of happening. So the best thing, for me, what I've found is, okay, I've kept trying and trying and trying, and then I'm like, actually, I don't need to try anymore because I have pointed certain things out so much. And what I mean by that is I've tried to sit down and have an open conversation with the things that I've felt around what had triggered me, and I wanted to have that conversation with Mum, and she still was in the kind of the non-accountability stage. So that's okay. Sometimes when people are still in a bit of victimhood, a bit of what was I going to say, victimhood, limiting beliefs, it's just a lot of old programming. And she's come a long way at her age in her evolution, and I've helped her a lot with that, and she's obviously helping even me a lot with the triggering, because their childhood wounding that I have not really, I'd looked at and I'd healed, but there was deeper seed points, and one of those was to always be the fixer. I've got to jump in and fix things. I've got to jump in and make everything right. I've got to jump in and help people so much so that, were they sad? Are they upset? Or, let me help them. Let me make it all okay. And actually, when we do that, all we're doing is feeding their wounding and their situation, and we're feeding the fact that they're not being accountable and they're not doing their own shadow work. So that was a big thing for me, and I didn't realise that I'd been doing that most of my life, and then it's very easy to also be taken advantage of in that situation because of my choosing in the first place. So there's no blaming anybody else. Even this morning something happened, and my mum was blaming somebody, and I tried to explain, don't play the blame game, and she said, well, why? I've got to blame someone. And I said, no, you don't. And I tried to explain, but she wasn't ready to hear that and wasn't ready to look at that and address that, so I just left that. So I'm just giving you some examples. I love my mother dearly. It's just there'll be people in our life that we love, and we're still going to be around, and they're still going to be in our life, but we don't have to play in those games, and that's what a lot of these energies are doing. So it's for us to really neutralize it. It's all about us internally, and all of these things we're learning are helping us with our own relationships to ourselves, relationships to our divine partner. If you're in a soul flame connection, twin flame connection, soulmate connection, you know, any of those sort of more conscious connections. So they're all to help with that, and all to help to get to those seed points. So moving back to what I want to talk about now, the energy. So it's bringing up a lot of karmic stuff. It's also bringing up a lot of karmic stuff with any other type of third-party situation. So with work, with you know, bosses, with friends, with partners, karmic partners, anything like that. It's really working on that too, and it's really going to keep bringing things to the surface and shining the light on it and showing you, and it'll also show you opportunities and doors that are open to be able to choose differently, and to take those leaps and have faith. And that's why they say leap of faith. To follow your heart. We are entering into not only new earth, as we all know, but we're entering into heart-centered energies coming from our heart. And there's still a lot that lead from ego. There's a lot that are unaware that they lead from ego. So there's a lot that think they lead from heart, and then we jump into ego. So yeah, so there's a lot of that sort of happening, that the energies are really, really bringing forth. What else did I want to share? Oh gosh, I should have wrote some things down. There was quite a lot I wanted to share. But that's what's my higher self's guiding me to share as well. That those of us that are here on the path of the path of being a light worker in this ascension earth plane, light workers, you know, whatever you want to call it, star seeds, soul missions, those of us that are here, 144,000 predominantly come back to do this work. It is really time, and I know this has been talked about a lot, but it's really, really time to take hold of that now and step into our power and our truth and lead from that place and not really worry about anything else. And this is why a lot of those family karmic situations are breaking down, because a lot of us have held back because of family reasons, because of our parents, or because of our siblings, or because of, you know, other family or religious beliefs, or whatever it is. You know, every family has their own shit, right? So a lot of us have held back, and we've kind of, you know, tread lightly and all this sort of stuff. And even when we have kind of spoken our truth and said, that's it, we're stepping into our divine feminine or our divine masculine power, and we're leading from that place. I'm leading from my heart. I know my truth. I don't care what anyone else says, all that sort of stuff. Even when we've been doing that, and we've been doing that for a while, a lot of us, I've found that, and I include myself in this, we still have had things that have held us back a little bit. And like I said in my last video, we can, as the divine feminine, step in and do this. I'm in my divine feminine power and everything, and the masculine can do it too. But there is still these little seeds, you know, underlying seeds that haven't had us fully take hold and control of the power that we have as a light worker to really anchor in this light, the higher frequency, push through any fear or doubt so that we can anchor that in, anchor that higher vibration. And in what we're assisting others as well. So what we're assisting in humanity, what we're bringing to the table, how we're doing that. And that also comes from the love of us with our divine partners. So moving into now the divine masculine and feminine energies, and how that is aiding us, assisting us. Although some of us are probably thinking with these energies, oh my God, it's a bloody nightmare. But you always got to think it's happening for us, not to us. And I sit here and I think, oh my God. So over the last few weeks I've been frustrated, but that frustration, I've gone, hang on, why am I frustrated? I need to neutralize this. Like, if I'm getting frustrated, then there's things here I'm getting triggered by that I need to look at. And that's how I got through those different things. And not realizing that some of the things that we've already healed are still coming up for that final healing to that seed point and neutralizing that. So, and just coming really from such greater love. And therefore we are not blocking our heart, and we can open the doors to everything from abundance to support to protection to acceptance to just loving and neutralizing it all unconditionally. So these energies with the masculine and feminine. So what's happened with me is I hit a point where I just so interesting. So my divine masculine and I have been on this path for quite some time, and gosh, where do I want to go with this so that it doesn't have so it's not a lengthy video. I'm just being guided here by my higher self. We've spent a lot of time physically together, because I say that because I know some couples haven't. We've spent a lot of time physically together. We are very powerful soul flames, very connected energetically in every single way possible. We have been through fantastic times. We've been through some ugly times. It's all beautiful in the sense that it has helped us, as we know, grow, evolve, and push through everything. Push through our fears, push through to come into that greater love. Okay, a love that we have not been taught or shown or seen before. So with these divine masculine and feminine energies, part of all those things that are breaking down with the family stuff is to help these divine unions and help the divine masculine and feminine, and each are going through it in their own way. And any type of karmic situation from those energies, like I said, is breaking down and neutralizing. And for me, how it went with me is that I got to a point of such a greater love for myself that I remember just waking up one morning and sitting on the side of the bed, and I just said, wow, I love him so much, but I love myself more. And soon as that energy, as soon as that happened, the energy that came from that was just astounding. It was just an utter incredible release. And from that, I'm like, I'm really moving forward on my path in such a greater, powerful way and asking the universe to bring for me what is for me, right? Asking my higher guide, listening to my higher guidance more precisely, asking what is, to bring it, what is right for me. And in that time when I was meditating and sharing, I don't even really meditate traditionally, like I just sit and talk to my higher self. I just get it, coming down, coming through. And within that, I said, if that means that, we are, like, I'm to have a separate partner, have a different partner, to move forward, whatever. And I said, not that I want that to happen in a sense, because I love him with all my heart, but it's about us really stepping into what is right for us, right? And what is right on this path. So I got to a point when I did that, instantly my masculine and feminine within connected so much deeper. And I felt the energy of my masculine, just going to go slow here when I say this to be able to explain it. I felt the energy of my masculine, internal masculine, supporting my internal feminine, which before I'd always felt it was like my masculine was more, would protect and go into ego, and my feminine would be, open, vulnerable a little bit, but would be a little bit like, oh, quick to shut down. So I found that my feminine energy felt really trusting and to open to her masculine energy for protection and support and that love and trust and honor and respect, and not have any walls up or any fear around that, and because our masculine and feminine internal energies, when you think about it, often have that little bit of tug of war going on, and we tend to separate it by jumping into one or the other instead of unionizing it. I don't even know if that's a word, unionizing, but you bringing them into union together. So my spirit said to me, you know, so within, so without, as within, as without, sort of thing. And so I felt that they had really balanced together, because I had reached that incredible depth of choosing myself first, not just with him, but with everybody, you know, with what had happened with my mum, what had happened with other family members, what was going down. Being triggered and working through that and releasing all that with my mum got me to the point of really that deeper love for myself and putting myself first. Not self-sacrificing, not self-sabotaging, not jumping in to help everybody, putting me first, even if somebody else was in a dilemma, you know, but helping, but not at the detriment of myself. And that's something I'd never really been able to do. I'd be like, oh yeah, but oh no, hang on, I'll just go over here and do this, and then I'll do what's right for me. So and then I opened my phone. It's so interesting how I love how spirit works. I opened my phone and my daughter had sent me a text message, a link from the other side of the world. She lives, and she'd sent me a link of a song, no explanation, just the link, and it was a beautiful song. It was J-Lo's latest song, called On My Way. And I tapped on it and I listened to it, and I'm like, oh my God, these words. Beautiful song, by the way. Go and listen to it if you haven't heard it. And I'm like, oh my God, these words. No explanation, just send it to me. And yeah, I thought, Spirit, just you're on fire. Like, my higher self's just on fire. So in saying that, we actually do have such an incredible, greater team of light workers, divine light workers, always around us and working for us for our divine path. And the more we listen and take notice, right, there's always messages around. I always say that in my videos and to people I'm helping or assisting, always look for messages, you know, those messages around, because they're there, you know, it's a message from Spirit, it's a message from your higher guidance. It's, you know, even if you're just going along the road and you want to turn this way, but you're being guided to turn that way, whatever it is, like, always follow that guidance. Always follow your intuition, but know that it is truly your intuition and not your ego that's leading it. So, yeah, so that was a little bit I wanted to share also about that, the masculine, feminine energies. What else did I want to say? So back again, listen to that bird. I was just sitting here going over whatever else I wanted to say, and I had to put it on because the bird. So yeah, so with the masculine and feminine, all of it really that I've spoken about is helping towards that, as I said, and we're really in a time of where all our soul groups are coming back together. Not sure if you knew that, but that's all being assisted as well from the higher realms. And these are the times, this is why the energies are so powerful too, because these are the times that it's pushing us to really activate ourselves in so much of a more powerful way to bring those unions into fruition, and also carry the love, the greater love and power with that, because with that greater love comes that beautiful greater light and power. So don't be afraid to let go and think, okay, my higher self knows what is right for me and in the situation of now, because sometimes we can block ourselves off thinking that it's got to go this way, or it's got to go that way, or it's got to happen this way, or it's got to happen that way. But in actual fact, it can happen anyway. Do you know what I mean? And we have to let go of limiting beliefs and be open to that. A lot of times we can get caught up in the ego of, you know, the past, of what's happened in the past, and instead of letting go of that and coming from a new, completely new energy, because it's completely new energy, completely new energetic state, and the new earth energies. A lot of people can get caught in ego of how they've treated people in the past, or how they, you know, what that done, or would that person even want to hear from me again or see me again, and things like that. And you just got to let all that shit go. You just got to let it all go. Let it all go. Today's a beautiful day. It was 222 on the timestamp there when I just looked at that, because I'd started the video again. And you've just got to like let it all go of these energies. Like I said previously in other videos, we're walking through the Akashic records and breaking it down, and come the end of this year, we're done with the Akashic records. We're done with all those pardon me, past lives, timelines that we've neutralized. And this is the new, and we're coming into this really unified state, and this is why the energies are so powerful, and this is why you really got to just let go of any of that stuff from the past. Just let it go, you know. So yeah, and this is what's happening, and it's reflecting that with relationships. Oh, I know what I was going to say too. I'm going to I've been guided to do a masterclass. It'll be like an hour masterclass, and it's going to be on the differences of karmic relationships, soulmate relationships, twin flame relationships, soul flame relationships, the really divine connected relationships. And the reason I've been guided to do that is because I see a lot of stuff still floating around after years of people, feminines and masculines, not just feminine, that are not sure of the connection they're in, and it's important to understand the connection because of understanding how to navigate it, basically, energetically. And we're moving into a world of conscious connection and conscious relationships, and so we are needing to have a greater understanding and awareness of how that all works and how it feels. Okay, so I see a lot of people that think that they're with twin flames or soul flames, or you know, and it might just be a karmic connection that they're trying to make a twin flame or a soul flame connection, and it's confusing for a lot of people. And I've been on this journey for a long time, and I have lived all these connections, all the ones that I'm going to be doing in this masterclass. I know how they all feel. I know what ones are more powerful. I know how it works, and I want to share my experience for those to help those to understand, you know, if they're in what type of relationship or connection they're in. And I've even seen like twin flame, soul flame readers, whether they're card readers or other types of readers, that just that say they come into union and they've got maybe hundreds of thousands of followers or tens of thousands of followers. And there's a lot of people to influence, you know, and they come into these into union connections and say, oh, we're in union and all that. And then I see them and I know intuitively, I wouldn't never tell anybody, but I know intuitively if it's their connection or not. And I know that it's just not going to last. And then months later, they go, oh, no, sorry, that wasn't my that wasn't my connection. I was kind of just running from my real connection to be with this one. So that happens a lot. And so I'm going to do a masterclass and put it out there. As I said, it'll only be an hour long. And I've actually, my higher self guided me to do it a little while back, but I've been a little bit busy getting through these other things I had to get through and tackle. We've also been busy getting my mum's house ready to sell, which has been it's not been a blessing, but it's been a blessing, because that's where a lot of the triggerings come between the two of us, that we've been able to heal and get through and move forward. And so moving forward now, I have got the time, and I'm going to do a masterclass and put it out there. So stay tuned, because I will talk about it here when it's ready. And yes, so it's going to be very inexpensive. It's going to be under $10. And I'm going to, honestly, I will, this is going to be something that everyone on in these connections should listen to, because it's going to be very, very informative of all the different relationships, unions and connections, and what it feels like. Because there's even just difference from soulmate connections to and even within twin flame and soul flame, and people might say, what's the difference? I'll tell you in the masterclass. But even within that, if you're trying to navigate, if you're in one and not the other, and you're trying to navigate it from the other, that's going to be really, it's not going to work very well at all. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so on that point, I am going to, I've got my feet on the grass here, it's lovely. I am still having a lot of trouble with my foot. I've done a lot of ligaments, and it's been really tricky to get around. So anybody, actually, that's what I was going to say too, anybody that is after a one-on-one session with me, I'm going to open up again. I'm opening up now to one-on-one sessions, because I can't be as active in other things at the moment. I'm a bit laid up with my foot and my leg. So anyone that's after a session, please message down below, and I'll send you my email, and you can email me there, and we can do a session. So you can go to my website as well. Actually, I'm not sure if the link is there, but anyway, I'll put it down below. So, alright guys, I am going. Much love to you all, and peace out, and let's get this moving and grooving with these energies. I'll be back shortly with a few other things. Alright, bye. Love you guys. Ciao.